That entity known as Jesus Christ is going to be spirit-led by God, and you can see that, and there's lots of verses in the Bible, and there are other verses in the Bible which you as a Muslim would say are contradictory, which would always be the ones of his human nature.
Can I clarify to that, please?
Could I just finish this off?
Okay.
And this might help you understand it.
That's fine.
Because I'm trying to use some way of Islamically seeing if this fits in.
No, you wouldn't be able to. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to do that.
When we talk about what do they call not genies, what do you call them, the spirits that can dwell in a human body? Jinns. Okay, so according to your own theology or your way, you know that you could be inhabited by a jinn, yes?
An individual could be possessed by a jinn, yes.
So there is a jinn spirit living in a human body, which sometimes makes that human speak as he says, the jinn, and sometimes the human being will speak as they speak.
Okay.
Right. Now that you already have that concept that we
That's a really bad example.
No, it's a
with all due respect, that's a really bad example. But firstly, the jinn, he is not all powerful, he is not most high, and he's not God. Wait. It is, yes, absolutely. He's wait, please. So firstly, the jinn does not have the nature, the attributes of being all powerful, almighty, all high. So when please let me clarify. So when a jinn becomes a human being, that's completely different when a god entered into his creation. And the reason being is because if you're saying that once an individual he has a human nature and he has a god nature, if he does not have his godly attributes, if all of his divine attributes are diminished, therefore he is not God anymore. So that's why you have to reconcile. Wait, that's absolutely, I'll let you respond as well. So that's why you have to reconcile when an individual becomes a baby and when he has two natures, he cannot be perfect and imperfect at the same time. And even though you're saying it's natural, if an individual has two natures, then of course they're going to switch upon it. But two things cannot switch upon if they're contradictory by nature. Something cannot be, for example, God cannot be all-knowing and not all-knowing at the same time. Do we agree with this principle, just so we know we're on the same page? God cannot be all-knowing and not all-knowing at the same time.
God the Father can't, no.
No, we're talking about God, Jesus as God, not the Father.
No, see, can we first of all go back to you? I want to answer you first.
We can do, absolutely, we can do.
It's pertinent to your point.
No, we can do, but just to get a clarification, I believe it's really important in order for us to progress the conversation.
You're saying, can God
be all-knowing
and
not all-knowing at the same time?
And not knowing at the same time.
Yes, please.
Okay. Can Jesus Christ, did you say? I want to understand
so, okay, let me elaborate the question. That's absolutely fine. So I don't want you to answer a question that you may not think I'm answering.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the question, can Jesus as God be all-knowing and not all-knowing at the same time in his God nature, not in his human nature?
No, in his God nature, of course he'd be all-knowing.
So he's all-knowing?
In his God nature.
Absolutely, that's fine.
In his human nature, not.
Okay, so now we have to understand
two natures.
That's absolutely fine. So there's two natures.
Can I have a break? Because you've had a good run. We started with the jinn.
Okay, that's fine. That's absolutely. We'll go back to the jinn. Can I just quickly finish off? No, can we just quickly finish and then I'll let you respond to the jinn side, yeah? Remember this as well. So when you're saying that Jesus as God knows the hour, so you said it does not make sense for something to be all-knowing and not all-knowing at the same time, as God.
What you're saying is a single entity can't be all-knowing and unknowing at the same time.
As God.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, Jesus Christ is two entities.
Okay.
This is what you've got to understand.
Jesus Christ is two entities.
Yes, he is human and divine.
Okay.
Two entities.
Two separate wills.
Now let me break down. Can I respond now?
That's fine. But
I want to go right.
We didn't address it.
No, we were talking about, first of all.
Let's go back to the jinns then.
Yeah, we're talking about the jinn.
Yeah.
And I was trying to bring out a parallel. According to Islamic understanding.
In order for me to understand,
where you can have a person, a human being, who's standing there, and unseen to the eye, there can be a spirit dwelling in that person who is influencing this person. So you see one shell of a human being. And this spirit that influences him may influence him according to its own will to do certain things and say certain things.
Are we talking about jinns right now, just to clarify?
We're talking about jinn.
Okay, so when he enters a human creation, he can influence him,
So what I'm saying, what's your name?
My name is Osama.
Osama and Colin.
Nice to meet you.
So let's say Osama is jinn possessed.
Okay.
Please God, that will never happen. Okay.
God forbid,
He's jinn possessed. Now, the jinn is inspiring him to say something to me.
Okay, out of my own will, out of my own will.
No, you don't have a choice.
Okay.
He influenced me. He's influencing your will to make a really blasphemous statement to me.
Is the jinn all powerful?
No, hang on. We're first of all establishing. No, don't jump. Let me speak.
I will let you speak, but we have to establish the principles.
First of all,
Colin, we have to
whether the jinn is all powerful or not is not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is it possible for something that seems to be a singular person to have a hidden spiritual influence that may influence the things he says, but when it doesn't, you're back to being who you normally are and you're talking normally.
But then
when the jinn, hang on, but when the jinn wants you to speak on its behalf, he can make you do this, and when he doesn't, he won't. So according to your own understanding of a spirit dwelling in a human body, is exactly my back to you is how the divine and the human nature of Jesus Christ can coexist in exactly that same analogy.
Can I respond to that now, yeah? So I'm going to go back to the jinn topic because I believe it's really important for you to understand that these comparisons cannot be used. Absolutely not. You cannot compare jinn and God. And the reason being is because we can agree that jinn is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just like humans are. So if a jinn possesses a human individual, he can only do so from his limited capability. We can also, for example, doing ruqya, we can get rid of that jinn. Therefore, that jinn does not have the same power or influence as you. But when it comes to the attribute of God being into a human baby, we have to understand what we're talking about is God. When we establish what God is, we understand God from his attributes. So we know that God is all-powerful, he's the most high, and he's perfection. So these are the attributes that we affirm with God. When it comes to the human being, we also agree that a human being is imperfect. Yeah, he does not have the attributes of being all-powerful. He does not have the attribute of being almighty. So these are the principles that we both agree upon. So what I'm trying to do is understand these two natures and see if it actually makes sense, if it's tangible. So wait, just please let me, I'll finish here, of course. Now I want you to not use a jinn example because it's not a good analogy. What we should do...
Say one thing, I find at my age hard to follow a series of statements that you make coming to a conclusion. And it would help me if we could slice the cake up a bit, because otherwise I won't be able to give you an answer necessarily to what you're asking.
What I'll do is, just so I can mention the point and then let's link it to that point only in order for you to not become... So what I'm saying to you is that when a human, God, the most powerful, the most high, the perfect, we have to agree that God by nature is perfect. When he entered into his creation, either he diminishes attributes and he does not become God, or when he becomes a human baby, we have to conceive that entity that you're talking about is perfect, but at the same time is not perfect. So what I'm saying to you is that we agree right now, when God has an attribute of perfection and has an attribute of imperfection, that is contradictory by nature. That goes against God's nature.
See if I understand that. You're saying that God can't enter into creation because it limits his perfection. Is that what you said?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, so you're saying that God has never entered into creation.
If God entered... Okay, let's break this down here. You're saying do we agree that God is bigger than his creation?
When you say bigger than his creation, see, Shamsi would have said the same thing, like God can't get in a small space, i.e. you can shut a door and keep God out of. No, God transcends creation and his power maintains every molecule and atom, and we can't separate his person from his presence. This is what Jews and Christians
So you would
believe.
disagree that God is bigger than his creation?
When you say bigger, creation exists in God.
Do we agree that God is the most high?
First of all, God doesn't have dimensions.
Okay, wait.
This is what I want to understand.
That's fine.
Said to me,
I don't know. I'm not talking about dimensions.
Is God bigger than creation?
I'm not talking about dimensions. When I'm saying bigger, I'm not talking about dimensions. What I'm saying to you is that God is most powerful. He's more stronger than his creation, and he's most high. So what I'm trying to say to you is...
He's the Lord of creation.
So what I'm trying to say to you is, how can God enter into his creation when that creation... how can God enter his creation when when the entity of God is bigger than the creation himself? That's contradictory as well. But the point is, I think we're going to a different topic.
No. I hold you on that. You made a statement. You must allow me.
I will let you speak. If I just need to go, I will do. I just need to go back to the topic. I do apologize.
Yeah, but you just said something about creation.
You can address that.
Using that.
You can address that.
As far as how could he be in the body of the man Jesus Christ?
We can address that. We can address that. But that was.
I would like to reply to what you.
I will let you do so, but I believe that was a side point.
Could you let me reply to a statement you made, and then we'll go back? Otherwise, you'll have had two goes.
After I finish, it's not about goes. I'm just having a conversation, to be fair.
I know, but you made a statement that I don't agree with, and I want to prove that you're right.
I will let you respond to your point. Just give me at least 20 seconds to finish.
But then you'll have asked me two, and I'll forget the first one.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you a question. I'm just trying to make a statement right now. So my statement was trying to say to you is that when God entered into his creation, therefore he limits himself, therefore his divine attributes get diminished. Once an entity's divine attributes gets diminished, that person is not the same God anymore.
Well,
just like okay, now just 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds. Something cannot be perfect and imperfect at the same time. I would like you to address that question.
Okay, right. Can I just say this, and then Chris, you can. Right. This is a very interesting question that my friend here has raised. Yep. He made the statement that if God, the perfect God, was to enter into creation, it would limit his perfection. Now, according to Judaism, God has entered into creation on numerous times. And if we go to the Torah, right, which is the book accepted by the Jews, we can see the whole history of Judaism interspersed with series of God entering into creation for a divine purpose. Yeah. So the simplest one would be, do you know what that object is?
What is that object?
That's the holiest object that has ever existed in Judaic history. It's called the Ark of the Covenant.
Okay.
And in it says, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them. Right, this is what God has commanded. He also said, I will establish my abode in your midst. I will not spurn you. I will be ever present in your midst. I will be your God. Okay. So we come from a foundation that is entirely Jewish. All the apostles were Jews. And they brought to the table a belief in God the Father and in a belief in God the Spirit. And his Spirit did enter into creation. This is why our God has the called omnipresence, which I don't think the Islamic God has.
Okay, wait.
Do you think God is omnipresent?
Wait, one at a time. Right now you're talking about Judaism, yeah? You're going back to Jews, what they believe in. So you're saying, wait, 1 second. So you're saying the Jews, they believe that God entered his creation. Firstly, Jews do not believe that God became a man. Okay, we need to establish that. Wait.
First of all, you jumped over one.
No.
Jews believed that God entered creation.
You have to let me respond. Jews do not believe that God became a man, number one. So we cannot use that argument. And again, I'm trying to address one topic, but we're going to different things. I'm trying to address the topic of contradiction by nature. We agree that God can do anything that befits his nature, that befits his majesty. Okay?
Who defines the nature?
So let's understand that. Do we agree that God cannot be all-knowing and not all-knowing at the same time?
That'd be a contradiction.
That's a contradiction, right? Absolutely. So that's the same thing when I'm saying when God becomes a human being, that's also a contradiction. Because when I'm saying to you is, I'm trying to address this point to you so you understand. I'm not sure if you're understanding me or not. I'm trying to mention by nature, if God by nature is perfection.
Yeah.
So me and you both have a common agreement that God by nature is perfection. How can that same God not know the hour? How can the same God be imperfect? Okay. So now, and you also agreed, I'm going to go back to the topic that I addressed earlier. Right. You agreed that Jesus as God, he was all-knowing. I'm going to go back to the topic that I mentioned earlier, because I believe the divinity of Jesus Christ. I believe it's really important. It's important. But if I tell you that your Bible does not say exactly what you're saying, what are you going to say to me? Because in the Bible, when clearly a disciple asked Jesus, when is the hour? He clearly responded
No one knows but the Father.
No, not just that. He goes, neither the Son. And we can see in the Bible when the word Son is used, that's used as Jesus and his divine nature. When
you're going to have to substantiate.
Okay, I'll substantiate that. Absolutely no problem. In the Bible, so you can clarify for me. Let's see if I'm wrong. Wait, that's fine. When the Son is mentioned in the Bible, is that referring to Jesus in his divinity?
When he says no one knows, not even the Son, that's obviously referring to his humanity.
Okay, where's the proof for that?
Because that's the reason he doesn't know.
No,
because if he said it in his divinity, he would know.
That's not the proof.
No, that is the proof.
That's not the proof.
Okay, you made a statement that Jesus Christ, when he said no one knows but the hour, not even the Son, and you asked me, is this in his human nature, his divine nature? Obviously it's in his human nature, because if it was in his divine nature, he would know.
No,
it's obvious.
Let me tell you why.
Can you give me the verse?
Let me tell you why.
You said it means something different.
Wait, let me respond to that first, yeah? And in the meantime, I would like you to get the verse of the all-knowing. Jesus not knowing the hour in the meantime. If you could pull the verse out, that'd be greatly appreciated.
No, tell me
the verse where Jesus does not know the hour.
Yeah.
Is it in Matthew or is it in Mark? I'm not too sure. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make to you is Matthew, yeah? So the point I'm trying to make to you is...
Tell me what your point is.
Okay, that's fine. The point I'm trying to... No problem. Let me go to it. The point I'm trying to make to you is that when Jesus in the Bible clearly stated that when someone asked him about the hour, and when he clearly stated that no one in the heavens or earth, neither the Son knows the hour, that's referring to even in his divine nature. And the reason being is because he did not say that, no one knows the hour except the Father and Jesus as God. He did not say that. If he literally excludes himself and said that only the Father knows the hour, that means only the Father knows the hour. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say I know every single person's name here right now, yeah? I know your name, I know this individual's name, but I don't know this person's name. Does that mean I'm still the same person that's all-knowing?
Okay,
It does not mean that.
Can I
That's fine,
answer?
yeah.
Right. We're going back to the parallel with jinn, and I'll back up in a tick.
You want to go back to the jinn?
No. I was using the parallel that in Islam they accept that a human being can be jinn possessed, and that spirit, and the jinn is a spirit.
I refute that, to be
jinn,
fair.
yeah, that jinn is able to influence that human being to speak and to do.
Colin, sorry, that's a really bad example.
No,
That's a really bad example.
Could you let me finish?
I will let
I
you
don't
finish,
think it
but
is.
that's a really bad example,
I'll get
and
to-
I addressed it
I'll get to the
already.
reason- no.
But we're
The
repeating.
reason
We're
my friend
repeating.
here said that
We're
it was
repeating.
a bad example was how can you compare a limited jinn to the all-powerful God?
Absolutely.
I wasn't trying to compare the two. I was trying to show and reveal a very clear parallel how you can have two things coexisting in the same person where one doesn't know what the other one is saying.
One is a paradox. One is a creation entering another creation.
Okay, let's say, right, you're now jinn possessed, and I've asked you, right, the spirit of the jinn is living in you, and the spirit knows the answer to this question I'm going to ask, and you don't know the answer.
Colin,
only the jinn does.
I'm so
The
surprised.
parallel is
I'm so
clear,
surprised.
It's obvious.
I'm so
I don't know why you
surprised.
don't
Colin,
get
with
it.
all due respect, I'm so surprised at using the jinn example. I'm so surprised. Wait.
What I'm saying is
Firstly,
irrelevant whether it's your powerful
Another
God
thing
or
is
a jinn.
no.
It's irrelevant.
Let me tell you why.
The fact that
Let me
two
tell you
can
why.
coexist,
Because
that's my only point.
that individual is still a human being. When the jinn enters his creation, that individual is still a human being.
No, he isn't. He's a human being and a jinn.
No. He's an individual that has been possessed by the jinn. Wait.
It's jinn spirit.
Colin,
It's
please
jinn spirit.
let me respond. Another thing is I mentioned as well early in the conversation. I'm surprised that we're mentioning it again. An individual can remove that jinn as well. God cannot remove a human, Jesus as human.
That's nothing to do
Colin,
with my example.
let me respond.
It doesn't
No,
have
it
anything
is.
to do. It's a
Because Jesus in his human form cannot remove God from his human body. He cannot remove God from his human body. Jesus and his human form cannot remove God from his human body. He has.
Now I know what you're not understanding.
Wait. He has no control. When I'm saying when a jinn enters his creation, that individual could do ruqya and he can cure himself, and that jinn will be removed. So your example, look, the reason why I'm being persistent, Colin, I'm being persistent. The reason why I'm being persistent. The reason why I'm being persistent with the example of a human being becoming God is because they're both contradictory by nature. You're not understanding the point. When something becomes 100% human or 100% God, that's a contradiction. When I'm saying something cannot be perfect, something cannot be perfect and imperfect at the same time. That's an illogical fallacy.
I would challenge the assumption.
And I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you.
No, Chris can join in.
No, I'm speaking to you. I don't know what to speak to him. I'm speaking to you. No, because you're a rude person. He's disrespectful, and I do not want to speak to him. This individual, he's clearly said he has problems with the Bible. If you want a respectful conversation, I'll speak with you.
Probably
If
align
not,
with him on that.
I'm not going to speak to him.
No,
He's a proven liar.
Bible, no.
And everyone's spoken to him. You're just attention seeker. Please go away.
Okay, can I just say
You're an
this?
attention seeker.
This
You're
is
an attention
Speaker's
seeker.
Corner.
Didn't you say, Chris, be respectful? Remember last time?
You're not being
no,
respectful.
because you're not respectful. You're not respectful.
I was going to have a respectful conversation.
You'll never have a respectful conversation. On private, you're a really nice person. When it comes to the camera, you're a total different person. I understand this. Understand this. On private, he is so nice. He's so polite. On camera, wait. What happened last time? Then what happened last time? You changed. Just when the camera come on, you change. You change. No. No, I don't. You're a liar. You said you have problems accepting Bible verses. But anyways,
I do. No, hang on.
let's have a
what was that? Problems accepting Bible verses.
Okay, Colin, we change. Let's not change the topic just because he's here. Let's continue the conversation. Let's continue the conversation.
Right, I'm going to say one thing now, and we'll see if we're going to continue the conversation.
Let's conclude.
You've had a good innings, Jan. Now this is cricket. You've been at the
I'm not trying to do that. To be fair, I'm not trying to do that. You entered the conversation, Colin. You entered the conversation, not me. I did not speak to you. You came to me, Colin. You came to me with the topic.
We were talking to somebody
I was speaking to another individual. You came and no, I wouldn't say interrupted, but you interjected the conversation.
I joined in the conversation.
Interjected.
I joined in.
That's fine, Colin. What I'm saying to you is that you can't just say to me, I want to speak to him. So it's up to you. Look,
don't make it sound like I
Colin,
bulldozed
let's
your
conclude.
conversation.
You're getting this individual in. He's a rude person. I don't want to speak to him. Respect my opinion. Respect my opinion. If I don't want to speak to someone, respect my opinion. If I want to conversate with you, that's fine. Anyways, let's conclude. Let's conclude.
No, we'll leave it.
Yeah, let's conclude, Colin. Yeah,
Let's not talk.
let's just conclude. I'm gonna just finish
I'm
off.
not going to conclude.
That's fine. Then you can go then. Goodbye then. I thought you was a nice person, but but if you just because this individual is interrupting, that's fine.
You're
No problem. You can go. You can go.
You're telling me
You can go.
that he's got to go, but I want to finish the conversation with you after already telling me that I interrupted your conversation.
Interjected. I said interjected. I didn't say interrupted. I used my terminology very wisely. You did. You did. You came to me. You came. You interjected the conversation. I had no problem with it. I had no problem with it. But that's fine. I don't. To be fair, you're not able to answer the question. To be fair, I've never been rude to you. I've been really nice, and I've been having a nice conversation with you. Yeah. But when you're getting this individual and you're not respecting my opinion, if you're getting this individual into the conversation, you're not being respectful. Anyways, Colin, that's fine. To be fair, you're not able to answer the question. You're not able to answer how can something be perfect and imperfect at the same time. You haven't answered that once. You haven't even answered that once. That's fine. I'm not going to speak to you. You're not fair. You're not fair. You're not fair.
The spirit of the jinn is not greater than the
Again,
spirit of
you
God.
mentioned jinn again. You're really persistent with the jinn example. How can God, the Almighty,
God
powerful,
can do
become?
more than a jinn.
So God can eat food.
Far more than
God
a
can
jinn.
eat food.
If you're going
God
to
was a
limit
baby.
God to something that jinn can do, then we better leave.
So God was a baby. So God was a baby. Absolutely ridiculous. God is not a baby.
You don't want to have a conversation.
Dwelt in a baby.
So God became a baby then.
God dwelt.
Did God became a baby or was he a baby? Did he enter this creation? No, you have to answer the question really carefully.
The flesh of Jesus Christ came from Mary. The spirit of Jesus Christ came from God, and that's according to your own belief.
Okay, with my beliefs that God became a baby. Prove it to me. Prove it to me.
breathed something of his spirit into Mary and said,
No, that's a lie. Now you're lying. Now you're lying. Wait. When the ancient Jibreel breathed to the spirit of Mary, that's not God. Wait. That is not God entering his creation. Colin, you've been a proven liar. I'm not going to continue this conversation. You're a proven liar. I'm not going to conversate with you. You're an individual in disguise. Goodbye. No. I'm not going to speak with this individual. You're a liar. I'm not going to speak with individuals like this. With these type of people, I'm going to walk away.
Show me where it says
Okay, that's fine. What's the spirit referring to?
Here we go.
What's the spirit? Wait. What's the spirit referring to? What's the spirit referring to? What's the Arabic word for it? What's the Arabic word for it? Yes. So wait. That's what's the exact word for it? It's not just ruh. What's the food word? What's the food word for it? What's the food word there? Ru'ah? There we go.
Mary, daughter of Imran, whose body was chased, therefore we breathed therein something of our spirit into her. Do you agree with that?
Okay, wait.
You said I was a liar when I said
No, you are a liar.
You said I was a liar.
Are you going to let me speak? Are you going to let me speak? Are you going to let me speak?
But not if you call me a liar over something.
No, because to be fair, you're not a sincere person. I'm not going to conversate. I'm not going to continue the conversation. Wait. I'm not going to continue the conversation. No,
You said
liar. That's a lie.
You said
Okay,
liar.
You're a liar. Yes. Wait. 1 second. When I'm talking about angel Jibreel breathed to the spirit of Mary, I'm going to prove the rest. Okay, that's fine. Wait. I made a claim. Let me provide evidence for it. Wait. No, I'm not going to go to translations. Let me go to it. Let me go to it. If I show you the verse, then you have to retract your statement. 1 second. Wait for me.
And I joined in
That's
a friendly
fine.
conversation, and I don't think
Mary,
we should carry on.
Wait. Are you gonna let me exactly? Why are you walking away now? No. I'm getting the Quran. I'm gonna get the Quran and I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna give you the Quran.
When you use the word liar, that is one of the most serious things you can say to someone.
It doesn't matter. Your person. What is more worse is you saying that God is a baby. That's more worse. That's more worse than you're a liar. Anyways, let me go back to it.
Saying God is a baby. No, you
Yes.
said God is
You
a
are-
baby.
God-
I 3 times said God
No.
dwelt in a baby.
Exactly. That's just as bad. That's just as bad, to be fair. God, the most
Twice
powerful,
you've
the
lied
all
in the
high,
space of
the
5
most high,
minutes.
the most powerful.
No good you
He
going
dwelled
back
into
to
a
your-
baby.
go
The
back
nature
to
of the
your
baby is to
trenches.
weak. The baby of the nature is
Anyway,
cry.
everybody,
The baby
God,
defecates.
Jesus loves
Yeah, may
this
Allah guide
man,
you, man.
and
May Allah. He
when
wasn't
you
letting me
watch
prove
this
us.
video,
Goodbye.
you'll
Okay, that's
see I
fine.
didn't
Goodbye, my
lie,
friend. Goodbye.
and
Yeah,
I
you
was
lied. You lied. Goodbye. You interjected. Goodbye.
Like when even my sister said more Christian.
Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Where's the cameras? I'm just gonna get the verse out. So look, in the verse in the Quran in Surah Tahrim, it clearly states, and Mary, the daughter of Imran, who guarded her chastity, so we blew into her garment through our angel Gabriel. This is the translation, yeah? Sahih International. And she believed in the words of her Lord and his scriptures and was of the devoutly obedient. The scholars have understood the ruh to be ancient Jibreel. So clearly this individual was a liar. This person has lied. This person said that Allah has blew the spirit to Mary, when clearly it said is done through with the angel Jibreel. So this individual was lying, and this individual was not able to answer the question. Something cannot be perfect and imperfect at the same time. This is a lie. Allah by nature is perfection. Human by nature is imperfect. How can you say God the Almighty, the Powerful, He became a human baby, He ate food. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says that Jesus and Mary used to eat food. The nature of the Almighty is self-sufficient. How can God be self-sufficient but need food? The Salaf al-Salihin, they used to reply and said that when an individual eats food, that means he defecates. Astaghfirullah al-Azim, you're telling me God used to eat food and he defecated, he went to the toilet, he was changing his nappy. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We do not believe this. Us Muslims, we have the most logical understanding of God. He's the one Almighty, Ahad. His attributes makes the logical sense. So, Akhi, I'm going to leave it with this. This individual is a liar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah, finish.